I'm gonna push record just because I don't know when we're gonna start. But
Okay.
no, thank you for sharing the Shocker story. That's just
It's a story. Everyone says to me, "Man, that's a story. That's a story you will never forget."
yeah,
You know.
it's mind
Yeah.
blowing. Uh, so it's Friday. Was that Tuesday we were um, working through some coaching stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It
Uh,
was Tuesday.
well, I guess where do you want to go from trying to finish that conversation, and or if yeah, let me just start there. Where do you want to go from that?
I will follow your leading. Um. So whatever you would like to do. Um. We were talking about contentment,
Mhm.
and you were asking me some very challenging questions. You were asking me some very challenging questions, and some of them I couldn't answer because the contentment, I feel like it's such a raw thing, and we were getting into some deep stuff because even like teachings on contentment, like we were talking about that, and just uh like contentment takes away the thrill in things, like for me it takes away the thrill. So when I hear contentment, I'm like, just be content, just be content. I'm like, no, I don't want to be content, because contentment sounds like just be lazy and let things happen for you. And I was always taught you need to make things happen for yourself.
Right.
And that takes a drive, and that takes I will not settle. I will not be content. I'm going to keep moving, and I'm going to keep going, and things need to be new and changing. Um, and I can also see the danger in that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah. One of the last paradox we were talking about was the reality of Paul, right? Who penned some of those words about being content. But yet you look at the life of Paul, and he was one of the most driven, ambitious, kingdom-minded men
yeah,
that we emulate.
yeah,
Um, with that, one of the last questions I was asking you was, how do you allow the power and the presence of Jesus push you forward, yet at the same time having contentment?
yeah, yeah. And that's such a whew, like that's something I don't know how to do. I can be honest with you.
Uh,
That's something I don't know how to do, because um and I don't know what it looks like, because you're right. Like, and until you said that, I can honestly say that I never really thought about it that way. That the same writer was the guy that wrote more than, I think it's like one third of the New Testament.
right.
Um, and so I never saw it that way. So it's like, yeah, I like, thank you for that. What the heck do I do with it? Like, what does that look like? What does that look like in my everyday verbiage, natural,
Right.
you know, just naturally, what does that look like? Um, that's almost like asking the same question, like, how do you be confident without being prideful?
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and those two, they look so much alike, that it's so difficult for me to even say, to even answer that. Um, Yeah. Can you ask me that same question in a different way?
Here's a metaphor. Let's try a metaphor.
Okay.
So let's say you have a bucket. I fed the chickens this morning. This is where the metaphor's coming from. All right.
Okay.
I filled up a bucket of water. And let's just say that this bucket is contentment. But what happens in you if that bucket is empty? And what's the difference of when that bucket is full?
Mm. So you have this bucket, and this bucket represents contentment.
Right. And
And
and when it's full is when you're content.
yeah, and when it's full, it's when it's content.
Yeah.
When it's empty, you're not content.
Right.
Yeah. And so, like, what does it look like when I'm not content?
Yeah. What does it look like or feel like when that bucket is empty for you?
It feels like I am not, it feels like a lack of fulfillment, like I'm not fulfilled.
Okay.
Um, I'm not being challenged. Um, really, oh my gosh, this is a good one. It feels like there's no purpose to what I'm doing.
Mm,
And I would probably say that that's the biggest thing. Like, what I'm doing holds no significance or impact. I'm just getting up. Like, I've never been the kind of person that can just get up, go to work 8 hours, then come home, eat dinner, watch TV, go to sleep, get up, work 8 hours. Like, I've never been that kind of person. Typically, when people say to me, just be content, that's what I'm hearing them say.
right.
Go to sleep, wake up,
Mm,
get dressed, go to work 8 hours, come home, eat dinner. Why can't you just be normal? You know? But after you've already defined that's not contentment. So I'm good there. As of Tuesday, I am good there. Um, um, so yeah, lack of fulfillment, and a lack of fulfillment in the sense of my life has no significance. What I'm doing doesn't carry any weight or impact. I'm not seeing things change. I'm not making a difference.
okay. So you right, just playing with the metaphor. You're just walking around with an empty bucket and it's actually exhausting
Mm,
because there doesn't really seem like a purpose of like, well, what is this bucket supposed to do?
mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
What do you put in that bucket um, in order to have that sense of purpose, that sense of contentment with what God has given you?
I would say, like, I'm actually using my gifts. Like, I'm actually using my gifts. Like, I can pinpoint, this is what God has gifted me to do, and this is what it looks like. Like, he's gifted me to speak. He's gifted me to teach his word. He's gifted me to lead people. He's gifted me to be in ministry. So when I'm using those things, I feel fulfillment. I feel contentment. I feel like I'm making a difference. Versus when I'm not using those things, then I feel like I'm useless. Like I'm just taking up space.
What are you what are you tolerating that's not allowing you to use these gifts that you're referring to?
Oh, wow. Wow. Myself, um, I think more of the battle is probably myself. Um, I mean, I probably would have said 3 months ago that it's um, my location. Um, but I'm learning that that isn't true because, God is really using me here. Um, but but I would probably lean more towards myself because I I did not want I did not want to move the way that I did from California. Um, and I wanted to go from something from where I was to something better. Um, it's taken me a while to see that where I am is better, and if I'm being completely honest, it's still taking me some time to see that it's better. Because in California, you got oceans, you got uh, the mountains, um, you got the desert that's an hour away. Um, everything is so close. You got the mall. There's things. There's that city life, that suburb life, fast paced life. Um, and then you got South Carolina. I didn't really see myself living in Columbia, South Carolina. Um, it did not feel like this was a move that I wanted to make. But slowly but surely that's changing. It's changing. Like we're more settled. We have our house and we got things in our house and it's feeling a little better. Sometimes I wonder how much of my contentment, like we talked about, is based on comparison.
Mm,
Um, am I not just seeing what I truly have? And that's why I think the answer to the question is what's hindering me. I think some of it is me because I don't, maybe I'm not truly seeing what I have or even the potential for it to be greater than what it is. And that we shouldn't, I shouldn't despise the day of small beginnings.
mm.
In a 6 month time, I'm already overseeing two ministries, you know, in a 6 month time, I've been given more responsibility because I'm taking care of the thing that was given to me in the first place. And sometimes I forget as a millennial, and as most millennials do forget, that things take time, and um and process. You know, sometimes you got to go through the process. You got to go through a time of proving yourself. Um, and as you prove yourself, you're given more. Um, so I do feel like that's happening here. Like I'm given more, I take care of it. Then I'm given more, and I take care of it. And I truly feel like um, I truly feel like God has done more in me in the last 8 months, um, than I've ever felt in the last 10 years, because the church that I'm a part of is very intentional about this inside, your inside,
Yeah.
and not so much as what you can do for the ministry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just get so angry sometimes, um, or upset. Maybe angry is a harsh word, but I get so upset because sometimes I feel like um, I'm I'm being underutilized what I've done and seen so much. And my fear too is that I will be underutilized, you know. But again, that's me. That's nobody's fault but my own. So,
But it's still real.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It almost sounds as if this bucket of contentment has had to be and become empty from your transition from California to elevation, right? Like I hear you're saying and processing that God has emptied the bucket, but you're not sure if you're ready to receive what He's trying to pour in the bucket.
Mm, wow. 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 That's crazy. Wow. 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 Well, you hit the nail on the head. Wow. And I'm sitting here trying to think, well, I I and this may sound so bad, but because I feel so safe, I know I can say something stupid and you're not going to judge me. um, but that's exactly what you just said was exactly it. And it's baffling to me because it's like God is good,
Mm.
but I oftentimes I don't like his methods. Like I don't I don't like his methods, and I want to know, what are you doing to my life? Like, this is not okay. This is not cool. This is not fair.
Mm.
Um, but what you just said just really, really helped me, because for the longest time, I kid you not, there have been people that I have been mad at. I mean, I'm just now, like last week, um, a staff member from California reached out to me and asked for forgiveness.
Wow. Wow.
And for a split second in my head, I thought, I'm not going to respond to this. I'm not going to talk to this person. No, yeah, I forgave you, but I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
but but I only allowed that to rule and reign in my mind for a split second.
Mm.
I texted him back and I said, I forgive you. I forgive you. And I shared my heart on a few things, but I did let them know that I forgave them, and to also forgive me if I've hurt them or offended them. Um, but I think about those things, and I think, man, I don't like the way that God does things at times. I don't why couldn't you just keep me where I was? Why did it have to get that bad? Why did you have to use me, or why did you have to use that to
Right.
bring me here? Um, and so for the longest time, I've been mad at God and been mad at people.
Right.
Um, but about 3 months ago is when that transition started to happen. Um, Pastor Stephen's been just preaching messages about letting go, and um, the one message that really impacted my life was, I don't know. You know, he was talking about just not really knowing God's plan for your life, and you have a certain plan, you have a certain path, and I'm telling you, I knew my, it's like, I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going. Before the whole California thing happened, I was supposed to go to the Bahamas to do, for like a whole week, to do an international conference. It was going to be my first time in the Bahamas, first time meeting a lot of those leaders, first time being on TV, first time, uh, just first time of everything. And I thought, man, I've worked so hard to get to this place, and then for it all to be just snatched away. That really made me upset. Um, so for that illustration with the bucket and receiving from God, that that's so good, because it really shows me that God is good, and we can trust him to always pour in good things. And I'm living a life right now that I don't, I mean, I don't know what anything looks like or what it looks like. I just don't. Like, I don't know what my plans are. Um, I just know that I'm being used where I am, you know? So, yeah, wow. Wow.
What do you need to do to position yourself to allow this bucket to become full?
I first and foremost need to fully accept where God has me. I need to fully accept it. And I'm 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 probably at like an 85%.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm really close. But there's also that, hey, God is God wants your whole heart, not 85% of it. He wants your full agreement, not 80% of it. Um, so I would say that would be the first thing is I need to fully accept where God has me, where he's placed me. I need to fully accept the new friends that he's giving me. I need to fully accept that I'm not going to know, or I'm not going to be able to control the days ahead, and that's okay. So I would say just acceptance, and then just really being who he's called me to be here. Like I feel like because I haven't accepted it, and I haven't accepted his will, and I haven't accepted what he wants to give me,
yeah.
um then I'm holding back. I'm holding back. I'm holding back passion. I'm holding back the things that I know. I'm holding back my experience. I'm holding back the lessons that he's taught me. When in actuality, those things have prepared me for where I am today and what's coming ahead. Um, every experience that I've been a part of has been unique, and it's been different, and it's been life changing. And just because I've gone through a pothole in life, it
Right.
doesn't mean I should throw away those experiences.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I would say fully accept, and then to also just let go. Like I just gotta let go of my expectations, what I expect, what I expect from others, and what I expect from myself. Like I just gotta let go and just be free, and just love God, not the location, not, the benefits of whatever, but just love God and love his purpose for my life. And I think once I get those things right, a lot of the actions will start to come into place, you know?
A year from now, what's the story that you're telling others because of this conversation? What's the story you're living because of this conversation?
A year from now, I would tell others, um, that my life is a whole lot better, and not just my life, but my perspective has grown.
Mm,
Because before talking to you, I did not have a healthy perspective on contentment. before talking to you, I didn't understand that God was trying to release something new in my life. I mean, I knew God was good, and I knew, like, I knew that part. Um, but but God is wanting to do something new, like brand new. Like He's chosen me to do something brand new, and my posture has changed because of this conversation. And so a year from now, I will probably be overseeing 6 or 7 ministries. Who knows? But I will be in a completely different space and a completely different mindset, and I will be able to teach others because of this conversation.
Mm, it's good. Chad, you are a, I've said it before and I'll say it again, you are extremely self-aware as a leader. And there's without a doubt that God is pouring so much into you, right? But
Mm.
but the fruit of our lives we don't really see sometimes until that fruit has planted another tree sometimes, you know.
Mm.
Um, so thank you. I mean, thank you for trusting me in this space and honoring this space to be honest with yourself. Um, what would you write down if you were to write a 3-sentence summary, a 4-sentence summary? Um, what would you write down about today, and like where would you put it so that you remember this kind of this turning point?
Yeah. I would write down in 3 to 4 sentences describing this moment that I've learned that oftentimes healing doesn't happen instantaneously,
Mm,
that healing happens in phases, and that because of my experience with you and talking with you and you seeing my complete journey and then having this conversation, it's like it's showing me that God is also the God of phases and not just the immediate. And so hearing you speak to me, these are the things that we talked about. These are things I've been wrestling with, like personally wrestling with. And nobody knows. I would probably put something like that in there too. That I was able to have this discussion in a very safe environment. And I'm somebody who it's hard to trust anybody. And you and I have had these conversations before, that in while you're in ministry, it is difficult to trust anybody. It is difficult to have a conversation with anyone. And so it's important to find someone that you can share your heart with, and it's and you can be vulnerable with, and you feel safe. Um, so I would put something like that in there, as far as like the conversation that we had today it was a massive part. It played a massive part in my healing of disappointment and of hurts. And I would probably stick that in my Bible, this Bible right here that I was reading today. This morning I'm going through the Old Testament with my e-group. So we're reading a chapter a day. And right now we're in Genesis, and we're talking about Joseph. So I would probably stick this somewhere in Genesis chapter 36, 37, 37 to be exact. Because like Joseph, I'm a dreamer. And like Joseph, um, I've been betrayed by my brothers. I've been thrown into a pit. But like Joseph, God's hand is on my life.
Yeah.
And so when talking to you, you remind me of that. You remind me of that, that God his hand is on my life. And this was a conversation that I would always remember. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's how I truly, truly feel. And that's why it doesn't, like, to me as I'm talking, it's like, man, I'm saying this right now because this is like my raw freaking emotions. Like it's just my raw emotions. Like I don't know what I would do without Lance Howard and his counseling. So yeah.
Well, Chad, you do the work. I mean, you show up every time, and you're so authentic. You're hungry to grow, and that's what I admire about you and serving and being with kingdom leaders. There's without a doubt in my mind that God has so much. He is doing that
Mm,
bucket is fuller than what you may see.
mm,
But man, He is going to continue to pour out so much more.
mm. Thank you.
Thank you.